Welcome back, everybody, to the LPL English coverage of the Demacia Cup quarterfinals. My name is Yanni. I'm taking the baton from Rafa. I'm still here with Jamada. And Jamada, congrats to Weibo for their 2-0 of EDG to lock semifinals. They're going to play the winner of this match versus Billy Gaming and Anyone's Legend.
Yeah, exactly. Winner here will be facing, of course, Weibo, like you mentioned. Hello, Yanni. Welcome to tonight's, what I expect to be Anyone's Legends night, given this isn't quite BLG that we are dealing with tonight, is it? We'll get onto that later on. But yes, I am still looking forward to this matchup, and like you said, Anyone's Legend, or like we saw rather in the replay package there, Anyone's Legend, a fairly eventful-ish path in to this quarterfinals.
It was pretty cool for them to see them really come together after a couple of roster changes up on the top side. Watched a lot of tape on them, and I thought they looked really good already. Like off the bat, they looked like very synergistic. As you can see on your screen, Flandre and Tarzan in it for Ale and Krako for this upcoming 2025 season, but mid and bottom all the same. And I like what Anyone's Legend put together, especially in the second half of the year in 2024.
Yeah, right. I think Tabe coming in, and then just eventually them really getting their stuff together. I was quite surprised that, despite not necessarily having the name power, that even without that, they didn't go, a little bit further. But I think that just kind of is a testament to how strong the top side of the LPL really is, despite that. But now, from start of the year, full roster, Tabe here from minute one, I really do think that Anyone's Legend could have finally the opportunity to not just make it into playoffs, but maybe, just maybe, scrape a top four and find themselves on an international stage at an absolute stretch. But we still have to get there because, of course, you have to remember the rest of the LPL rosters at the top end are looking pretty scary. But again, changes coming in looked pretty good in the opening stages of the Demacia Cup, and we'll see how they line up, or shape up rather, tonight here against BLG.
Couldn't agree more. And looking at the teams and the matchup, this is something that Anyone's Legend should be able to put away pretty easily because BLG is not playing their main roster. They had some time off. I saw some excursions out in the jungle on social media. If you take a look, don't freak out. Binway, Knight, Elk, and On are still going to be around in 2025, but for the Demacia Cup, they're running a combination of their juniors team plus a couple of other young talents that they picked up.
Yeah, exactly. Mixture of, Monkey, actually, you may remember his name if you're an LPL freak enough from his brief stint on EDG. Of course, EDG cycled through a lot of players throughout this year, and Monkey was one of them, and honestly left a very, very decent impression of himself. So we'll see exactly what the level of performance ends up being from this lineup. Of course, it being such a kind of junior squad in this sense. No major expectations, but I am looking forward to Monkey just simply because, again, left a very good taste in a lot of people in terms of the overall level of aggression he was willing to put down on the Rift. And again, I'm expecting that same level of craziness coming out of him here, as it is kind of a, I don't want to remove the stakes from the Demacia Cup, but for all intents and purposes, it is kind of a nothing to lose situation for these rookies, right? You are in a kind of win-win situation. You get stage time, you get to practice and play against a very strong Anyone's Legend. You lose, sucks, but you got the experience. You win, you just knocked out Anyone's Legend. Awesome. And you then get to move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for the rookies of definitely not BLG to be able to make their mark. And I mean, there's a couple of people here that they're pretty decent, right? Liang Shun spent a lot of just got signed by juniors this month. NEST was his first event. This is his second event, and I mean, he's looked pretty okay. Was able to side lane pretty effectively as Cassante. As Mbessa, a little tough in lane, but I mean, this guy is rumored to be, the one, right? This guy's gonna be really good, and still obviously very early on in his career. It's a great platform to show himself. And the bot lane of Baya and Xiaosa They look pretty good in NEST as well. I mean, you know, Baya was kind of on Varus duty the entire time, but Xiaosha pretty good at these engaged champions. So, you know, there's something to like here, and I'm interested to see if they're going to go, you know, what they're good at, or they're going to start doing things like throwing pocket sand over at anyone's legend and try to throw them off with some cheese strats.
Yeah, I do expect that will be the case as juniors. You know, first time on a stage, don't know. We all saw that, of course. Ritualistic on the player walk-ins, and sometimes you do have to walk a certain way around and such. As anyone's legend will take to the stage, and a lot of excitement, of course, like you mentioned, around the young players and talent that BLG will be fielding here for the Demacia Cup. Not so much on the side of anyone's legend. A lot of experience here, honestly, across the board. Very veteran roster. Flandre, of course, 2021 world champion over on EDG, and I think just about everyone else. A very known entity inside of the LPL, and of course Tarzan in the jungle. So expecting quite a bit here tonight. And of course, Tarzan, first game on stage with his new organization. We did just see, of course, Weibo win that tour. So maybe a little bit in it for him, you know, to win this series here today against this BLG lineup and then go on to face Weibo in the semifinals.
Yeah, well, you certainly don't want to take even a singular loss to this roster because that'll shake you to the foundation a little bit here, Jamada, with the expectations that anyone's legend has. You know, and really for anyone's legend, it feels like you just want to see the growth in 2025 from guys like Shanks and Kyle. Mostly
Yeah.
because we know that Hope has been there, done that, has done very, very well at Worlds. We know Tarzan and Flandre, what their resumes look like. Shanks, this is a good opportunity for him to have a breakout year with all of the strong talent around him.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think for me, you know, Hope had a really strong bounce back year. Beg your pardon, on an individual level. Ever since that, what was it, 21 or 22 year at JDG? It might have been both years, actually. Um, just, you know, a very strugglesome time here in, in the LPL. But really did bounce back in terms of individual performance. And like you mentioned, Shanks, yeah, I think I've had my eye on him since I first started guesting here in the LPL in 2022. Of course, the player that we thought WE were going to build their kind of franchise around lost him at the start of this year, and honestly, I think it's a big loss for WE, and he's been performing pretty damn well on AL, and I'm hoping, like you say, you know, this year wasn't quite as breakout year, but perhaps next year can be.
Yeah, Mage Master Shanks, it was a tough year for him, mostly because, you know, the meta didn't really suit him super well. Obviously, a couple of mages came in a little late. Probably would have done him some good if his team was able to get to Worlds or anything like that. But unfortunately for the regular season, that was not going to be the case. We've made it into the picks and bans, already seeing Rumble taken off the board. Rumble was a high priority pick, so glad to see that's gone. And 80 carries just aimed away and fired over on for this 1v1 specifically. Yeah, it is the
Yep.
side pick 1v1.
Side pick
Forgot about
1v1.
that. They banned a lot of 80 carries for that. Is that what we've seen? Only
I
one
guess
of
that's
these.
gonna be the
What's the
meta.
meta for these? Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, you know,
What's the meta
there's
here?
like kind of a prearranged agreement between the
Ooh.
teams, you know, I do imagine that it will very often end up being ADs, very consistently, just because, yeah, you know, you don't want to necessarily. Actually, here's the important question: do we know if it's blind pick? Do we know if the other side knows? Because that's a very big deal.
That's a
Like,
good
can they
question.
see what each other are hovering? I'd imagine it would be blind pick because I don't think client side you can get
All right, let's see. So,
not
all right,
blind.
they're sending
Oh,
Heru versus Flandre here, and it looks like we're gonna see
are those
Corky
locked?
and yeah,
Those
I
look
think. Oh,
locked, right? Oh,
that looks
and
like the client.
someone dodged. Huh,
Yeah, look,
interesting.
1v1.
And also by the look of the client, well,
Accidental pick.
yeah, I haven't been on Tournament Realm for a very long time, but the look of that client, it looked like they were in ARAM. Um,
Yeah, I think it makes a
maybe
lot of
the
sense. That
reason.
throws a lot off, though. It's like because now you've got that increased gold. And those
Yeah, I
initial
think.
ARAM items. If you're an ARAMer out there, you're eating
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, you are. I think maybe because, as we saw from the first 1v1, they're of course on Summoner's Rift. So my assumption is that someone accidentally set the game up in it's actually the Bridge of Progress right now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And forgot to set it to Summoner's Rift. So I
All right.
assume that's going to be adjusted.
So I want to ask, what would you prefer? Would you prefer the 101 to be on ARM or on Summoner's Rift?
ARAM's a little bit more fun, right? I think the brushes in the lane, items, yeah, it just sets up for a much more entertaining 1v1.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Especially because you started at level 3. Like, what are we doing here? We're gonna start at level 1. Like, we could be farming till we're level 6 here. This is not what we want. Especially for trying to get side selection. So I'm interested to see if they're going to have to keep those picks, especially because Flandre's going to pull out a Heimerdinger. Like, I mean, listen, and maybe it is the 1v1 meta because of those turrets, right? And all of a sudden you're going to see, actually, does this count toward, like, will there be an entire statistic for this at some point during the year
Oh,
in
will there
2025?
be a
Like, I'm
meta?
actually excited.
Huh. I'm pretty sure it's just for the Demacia Cup. That said, it would be pretty fun if we did get full-blown statistics. I
Are we
think for the
sure?
Demacia Cup, though, we're just going to end up with a lot of very boring range champions. And the most fun we will get is that
No.
Draven Varus matchup.
Okay, I mean that's at least pretty fun. Jamada, what are you picking in a 1v1 for side selection?
Draven's a good shout. I think Draven's always pretty good. Lucian was always the old go-to. Excuse the dog, he's
That was
angry.
gonna be my go-to. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, he wants the game to start just as bad as everybody else in the chat and you and I.
yeah, he does. Yeah, Lucian was like the old meta, actually, now
Mm.
that I think about it.
That's like one of my go-tos as a champion in general, even still. I know he's not that great right now, so like I know I'm probably picking him for a 1v1, but even though it's not the best pick.
Fair. I can't complain about it. What else would make for a good 1v1?
What summoners are you taking in the 1v1?
Oh well, I mean
For sure.
barriers are non-negotiable. I mean the problem is you can't really not go double combat summoner spells. That's
For
the
sure,
big issue.
yeah.
I think it really if you
Are you
again
an
it comes
Ignite
down to
gamer or an
do you
Exhaust gamer? Like that's really what we're looking at, I
the other
think.
thing is that we need to know whether or not it is blind or if they can
Bro,
see. Again, I assume it's blind
if it's blind,
because
I
it's
think you're
it's
probably
technically
always Ignite.
I think if it's blind, it's always exhaust because
Hmm.
exhaust is just a much more useful tool.
All right, well, let's see what
And
we
it seems
got.
like they agree with us because yeah.
All right,
Oh
excellent.
wait, it's
He took
teleport flash
TP.
from Heru.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That is the
Well,
face of a guy who has realized that he took his his in-game summoner spells for this 1v1. He can tell. He looks like
yeah.
he's not gonna have a very good time. Flandre has got the biggest smile on his face. He's like, dude, I'm gonna run this guy over.
Guys, if this is anything like the usual 1v1 rules, I assume that we're gonna be here for a while because Corky Heimerdinger doesn't scream to me, you know, interactive.
No, I couldn't agree
Uh,
more. And by the
yeah.
way, the 1v1 side select will be for the entire year. So hopefully we
Huh.
will never see this matchup again. They will realize
Yeah,
that
you know,
it's not so good. Are they getting backseat gaming too as well?
yeah,
Like,
I
is
think
this
they
just
are.
not just OP?
I'm gonna sit down. I'm actually gonna just hold on. Okay, now I feel
I've
much
been
more
sitting down.
comfortable. I
Been
feel much more
sitting down
comfortable
the
covering this.
entire time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stand up, stretch the legs. It is 6 a.m. where I'm at, so it's still very
Ooh.
early.
Yeah.
So Flandre just spinning around. These turrets are gonna just put in so much work, I think, and cause some problems for Heru.
Well,
But
I think the problem Flandre might find is that Hera, I think, outranges the turrets and also has ranged ways to clear them. So I'm not sure how much priority he's going to be able to get. And my bigger worry, Yanni, is actually that we're battling for 100 CS.
yeah, that's what I was
That's-
gonna say. I was like, I think we're on 100 CS. We're certainly not on turret
yeah.
because we got plates. We're certainly not there. Now, this is singular kill, right? This isn't like double. Need first to 2 kills or anything like that, as far as I know. Not
Yeah,
sure if you
I'm
know
not
that
sure
for
what the win
certain.
conditions are here for the 1v1, but if it's anything like the traditional 1v1s we tend to see, it's... Oh no, he's down to CS. It's first to
Oh,
100.
it's so over.
It's over. It's first to 100 or first blood or first tower, whichever comes first. And, oh no, he didn't miss it. It just didn't come up. I'm blind. Well, it will
Well,
just be the most hotly fought 1v1 for CS that we ever see.
without a doubt. And well, it appears we have some time. I want to talk a little bit about how this BLG roster is here. For those who don't know, as we talked about, definitely they're definitely not BLG skin because they finished so well at Worlds. They were automatically given a quarterfinal slot. And they decided to give their main roster a break. They had a really nice vacation, like I said earlier. They were out in the jungles of presumably China. I don't actually know. Um, and
I was like, is he gonna get the exact like province that they're in?
oh
Is he
no,
got that
no,
one
bro.
nailed?
I
Like,
have I
no,
have
no.
no idea, man. But they were looking spiffy at All Stars the other day. I don't know if you saw them all in their suits on social media. That was really cool, and it's a good opportunity to give a lot of their young players a shot. The heroes of tomorrow that we'll be looking for, or if they play well enough, maybe even summer split. Maybe we'll see them sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, BLG do have quite high aspirations, and I think when you have aspirations as high as BLG's, that you need to have players ready on the come up, right? So, giving opportunities to your, effectively your academy side is always very, very, very valuable. And like you say, you never know. You might end up seeing them sooner rather than later. Even though BLG again, had such high aspirations, double back-to-back LPL champion, finalists at both internationals. Um, they did eventually swap out Shun, right? Don't forget
Mhm.
for Wei, and even in very successful rosters, you can see those situations where players get subbed out. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sometimes you got to tinker with it a little bit, and it works out really well. One thing I want to talk about pertaining to this 1v1 is teleport actually the strat here on Corki because he burns through his mana so fast. You get to back, get an item up, and then just kind of engage and hope that you're stronger than the summoner spells. Is that what
yeah.
we might
I
be seeing
mean,
here?
the tactical advantage is going to be getting onto the wave again quicker, right?
Oh
Oh,
no, it's
right, he's
so
down
doomed.
2 CS. So this is where things can get like nice for Heru, right? Teleport back, maybe get an immediate hard shove, right? I think he should have maybe done it there, but maybe he's just worried about Flandre being back
Maybe,
sooner rather than
but
later.
I mean, the
Oh,
Valkyrie is going to be insane here because Valkyrie's increased damage. Uh,
yeah, but I mean,
it'll just
Flandre is already
eviscerate the
back.
wave.
I mean, Flandre
Yeah.
is already back though, so like I think you had to do that even though you were quite low on mana. I think you had to clear that first wave immediately, just make it crash, and then teleport back, keep that advantage. But it's not what he goes for. So teleport blown, and it does kind of just neutralize the potential lead Flandre was growing.
A good chunk as Haru
Oh,
decides it is time to go in. He gets exhausted, but he's doing a lot of damage to Flandre, who's eating so many
oh,
rockets. The barrier, the Valkyrie. Oh my god, the cannon minion. Oh,
oh, oh,
oh, oh,
oh, the
oh,
cannon!
the cannon? Okay, no. Everything's fine. The Void Grubs have spawned. I don't know if they're going to be
Yeah.
relevant, but they have spawned. Oh, this is so close right now. As Haru is so low on mana, he doesn't have a big one in the back pocket. I fear we might just see a bouncing grenade that's not going to land. I fear we might see another back here.
Yeah, I hate to say it.
No,
I
it's
hate to
so
say
too.
it. Oh, he's gonna
Oh,
cheese it. Oh, but does
oh
he
my
know about the?
goodness.
Oh, he's not playing the next brush.
Ah,
But
not
Heru's
looking.
not playing the next wave.
I mean,
Oh.
you can't, right? That's such a huge risk here, and well, okay, you theoretically could, right? It is side select in the quarterfinals of the Demacia Cup. You could theoretically have just gone for it. I don't
Yeah,
think it's going to be the
could've.
worst thing in the world if you do not get the side selection here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But
I
I
mean,
respect it.
what's all right? You know, glass half full here. It could be a good opportunity now for Heru rather to try and look for a 1v1 kill. No armor on Flandre, no exhaust, no barrier.
Let's go get him.
Just go get him. Yeah, just like go. right? Tank the damage. Corki actually deals far more damage than you think even this early on. If you are
He's got a
unfamiliar.
Negatron cloak.
I know, but
This is so good.
what's funny is it just means that he's not going to take any damage from Flandre now, right? Like, that extra 50 magic resist is a very, very big deal. If you don't know, that first bit of resistance that you get, if it's armor or magic resist, doesn't matter, is just far more efficient than once you start to stack it past kind of the 130, 140, 150 mark. So yeah, this initial burst of MR is going to make him take way less damage from Flandre's poke.
Haru was able to get a couple of auto attacks on that turret. That turret melted pretty hard. I know it's only plate 1, but you know, who knows? Crazier things have happened. It's probably not going to be a turret. I mean, if it's a turret victory, that's just embarrassing, right?
Yeah, it kind of is, especially if you're Heimerdinger. This is my concern about this potential 1v1 meta as it develops. I hope it's not just going to be the CS
Please
1v1.
no, dude.
Like,
please
no.
So, I did the one thing that you're never really supposed to do. I had a peek at chat while this was going on. Somebody said they should have banned backing. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really hate it. Although
I agree.
it would be too restrictive,
you know
but I
what?
don't hate it.
Whoever said that, you're right. I think banning backing would make sense, and you know, it's a strong argument to put it on the bridge. You know, it's a strong argument. I'm
Put
just
it on
saying,
the
it's
bridge.
strong. Yeah, put it on the bridge instead of Summoner's Rift. Also makes for much shorter 1v1s instead of 10-minute 1v1s where we're still a whiles away. I mean, 21 more CS from Flandre. Harry's got to make his mind up. You know, he's down 5 CS. If he's not going to be able to force Flandre to miss CS, he kind of has to pull the trigger and go. But the problem is he's waited so long that Flandre now has summoner spells again. So, yeah.
Harry's missing a lot of mana too. Like you're really only going to get one shot at killing him.
Yeah. His window I think is already closed. Just that barrier advantage I think is too much.
You have to Valk on this wave, right? Like you just have to kind of get it into the turret and force him to miss at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know. This is just going to go quietly into the night.
Yeah. Again, under the assumption that we are at the 100 CS rule, given we don't really have much
I hope we're at the 100 CS rule.
Yeah,
if we're getting any more, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. Well, he's got Unleashed Teleport.
Nice.
Now.
It's still on cooldown.
He can't use it for another 70 seconds, but he does have Unleashed Teleport. 7 more CS. 6 more CS. Flandre can't get it on this wave, but he certainly can get it on the next. His turret does that little bit of dirty work for the last hit there. He's not going to miss the... Haru needs to go, like...
Do something, Haru, please.
Haru? He's one.
He's a 99.
Haru.
All right, here we go. He's realized he's gonna go in.
Well,
Negatron cloak be damned.
Yeah, Negatron.
That's eviscerated. GG, I guess.
I think we just learned a very valuable lesson about some potential adaptations for 2025's 1v1 rules, guys. And I think it might involve putting it on the bridge and making sure that no backing is available.
Oh my goodness, bro. That was Jamada, need some high level analysis here. What would you see out there, Chief?
I think I could have opened up Civ 5 and I could have probably just played that whilst watching this 1v1.
Oh man, I should have popped open a game of MTG Arena, I guess.
Yeah. Let's just hope that range champions aren't the evolving meta for the 1v1. That's my take. That's my analytical draw from this from this Haru Flandre 1v1
debacle. This wasn't a 1v1. This was a debacle, bro. This was.
There are
all for side
there are significantly better ways to secure
significantly better champions to pick too.
Yeah, I think we move it to the bridge.
Okay.
We remove the 100 CS rule.
150 maybe.
Nah, we just removed it.
Okay.
First killer tower. And we're good. Anything else I think is just bad.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I can live with that, especially with what I just witnessed here. That was, I mean,
Mm,
it was a 1v1.
dribbling.
I can only imagine what the Chinese casters are talking about, and really what they
Man,
did during that
the,
time as
the
well.
the Chinese casters are great. I wish I could speak Mandarin just to be able to interface with the community when
Oh,
stupidness
yeah,
like this
honestly,
happens.
same. Like,
It's
I want to know so badly. I'm sure we'll
uh,
be able to find a translation somewhere at some point in time. But hopefully, we will be getting into the draft soon, and we can put this horrific 1v1 out of our minds and get on to real League of Legends gaming.
yeah. Hopefully, get onto real League of Legends. Yeah, that was a slog. I feel taxed after watching that.
Have another seat, brother. You're like,
Like. Do you guys mind? Actually, yeah. You know what? I'm just because normally we can't be seen LPL broadcast at this point,
yeah,
so I would be sitting down. So I'm just gonna
yeah,
do it
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. You know what? Why
Who's
not?
gonna stop me? You know, like.
This is not a
who-
problem. Like, listen, listen.
Sorry about the noise. Yep. Here we go.
Listen, I'm a big 76ers fan. I'm used to seeing James Harden taxed a lot when a little bit of work has been done.
Nice, thank you. Do
Uh,
you know what's great about the James Harden memes? Just to take us away from the
yeah,
seriousness. I mean, after watching that for 10 minutes, I think I think us as commentators are allowed some freedom.
please.
I I actually like I am so disconnected from American sports. I don't actually get a lot of the James Harden references.
Yeah,
Obviously, like guys, I see the likeness. It's fine. The jokes are okay. I'm not at all peeved by them, and even if I was, it wouldn't matter because they'd still be made. Uh, but I know nothing about James Harden, like
I can give
at
you a
all.
short little rundown about him, like
Yeah,
within
you know,
like
can I can
30
I can I
seconds.
yeah can I get some
Yeah, so
real quick
James
before
Harden.
the draft is starting? I mean, yeah, quick, go go
Oh,
go,
yeah, yeah,
rundown,
yeah.
rundown,
So
quick.
all right. So James Harden used to play for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was a bench player, six man of the year type
Uh,
S player. And then he
yeah,
became one of the best scorers of NBA history.
yeah.
And then now he's kind of old now, and he's pretty decent now at the very least. But he still doesn't have a ring yet. And as much as I don't like him because of what he did on the Sixers, I hope he gets a ring. Anyway, now we're on to the draft, and somehow, some way, it looks like anyone's legend might be able to get Skarner and Ash on the blue side, which seems like a violation to me.
Yeah, it does. It does seem like a violation, doesn't it, Yanni? Our cams are gone, which makes sense because we're in this draft
It's because you're sitting
graphic,
down.
which and it might also be because I'm sitting down. But thank you for the rundown
Yeah,
on
no
James
worries, bro.
Harden. I
I got you.
appreciate it. But yeah, Anyone's Legend, very strong start to this draft. Victor would be a little bit of a kind of tangent from this uh, theme that AL could have been going for, but it does bring them a lot of wave clear, of course, magic damage. On the other side for BLG, a lot of potential aggression, right? Wukong locked in alongside the Varus, so strong early lane and Ambessa, which, if I recall correctly, was banned in the first two games of the night. So
Mhm.
we will be seeing BLG pilot that one, likely on the top side.
Yeah, it's been one of those priority picks. Liang Shun did actually get it in a game at NEST, and he got solo killed by Rumble. Um, it was a little rough. He got solo killed in lane, but it was generally fine. The one thing I really like is Baya is getting that Varus. He played pretty much exclusively Varus. His positioning was actually quite good in a lot of really, uh, areas where he's funneled into a corner. It was against a Skarner and a Yone. So his positioning on Varus, the strong positioning he has, will do him pretty well against what anyone's legend has put together for through their first three picks.
Yeah, I do definitely agree with you. Positioning going to be very important, especially against the Ash Arrow. Ban's already flown through. Rakan and Akali taken away by AL, and Braum and Renekton on the opposite side. So worried about potential engaged support with, or rather, the Braum alongside this Wukong in the early stages. Very strong skirmishing potential, and it also just signifies that Kyle is very likely to just lock in something like the Nautilus, just slam it, get yourself consistent engage alongside the already very potent power throughout the jungle and this AD, and it's going to be Poppy taken here into this Ambessa. I'm unsure about how the matchup actually goes. Of course, the thought process would be steadfast presence, 1,000,001 dashes out of Ambessa, and just kind of pray for the best. We'll see how this matchup ends up being piloted out. But there's that engage from Kael, and on the opposite side, Xiao Xie or Xiao Xie, rather, is going to take up the Leona mantle. So BLG, very standard draft. There's just this Ambessa a little bit out of left field. We haven't seen, an absorbent amount of Ambessa just yet, but we certainly do know from solo queue stories how terrifying this champion can be, especially if it starts to snowball a lead into this Poppy. We'll have to wait and see.
Dashes on dashes, but yeah, I'm with you on not really knowing the matchup. Obviously, Mbessa, there's not really a whole lot of tape in pro play about all of these matchups quite yet, but at least conceptually, the Poppy pick is super sick, right? You get to shut down everybody with their movement abilities except for the Varus because he has none, and that means you get to slam the Varus up into the wall if you happen to catch him lacking. So this will be really good, and Flandre will be playing for the team here, it appears. And Tarzan, you know, was playing really well with Flandre in the group stage, and I was kind of expecting, like, all right, Tarzan's going to play for Flandre here, and on the other side, Monkey, it might do the same for Liang Shun, and we might see that. But on the Anyone's Legend side, it might be going elsewhere.
Yeah, it could be. We'll keep our eyes on that top jungle here of Anyone's Legend. I also want to kind of just, highlight the potential of the double wallbang combo between Poppy and Skana
Ooh.
and how unfun that sounds, right?
Slams you up
Playing,
into the wall, slams
yeah,
you into the wall again.
it's just a solid 2.5 seconds of CC that you don't really get to reply in. So keep your eyes on those topside trades because, again, as a cool Caitlyn cosplay up there,
That was awesome.
yeah, that was really kind
It
of
was really
biblically
good.
accurate, actually. Holy.
Yeah, it was really good.
If Lian Chen again, bad trade into, hey, Skarna's here underneath my own tower and I can't do anything because I'm on red side. It could be a struggle bus for him up there. Of course, though, it does leave the potential of being answered out on the bottom side, right? And that's always the worry about making full committed plays like that onto the top side. You have to ensure that your bottom side isn't going to lose too much for, what is at the end of the day just getting a Poppy ahead.
Yeah, and the one thing is we're kind of spoiled by seeing Poppy do a ton of damage because when in the support role takes the hail of blades, but in the top lane gonna take that grasp. So you're kind of lacking damage on Anyone's Legend. It feels like until you start getting later on to the game, right? You're gonna have Shanks and Hope be your two guys that are gonna be doing the most. As Anyone's Legend is gonna move in, get some ward coverage down. But Jamada, I am kind of worried that the damage profile is a little lacking.
Yeah, it's actually a very good point to highlight. I do agree with you. It will take some time for damage to be available. I do think, however, that a lot of the champions of AL do have very strong base damages, right? Skarna and Poppy do offer that at the very least. And I think with the mountain of CC and the general lack of, well, I don't want to say that BLG outright lack frontline, but what they do lack is a true through and through tank, with the exception of the owner, right? It is a lot of dummy durability here from things like the Wukong passive and all of the shielding and mobility from Ambessa is going to get you through, but it's about how much it really gets you through. As for now, AL, as we've been talking about, that has initiated a lane swap, and BLG are a little bit on the back foot for the time being. We'll see how they handle these side lanes. Of course, Poppy, notoriously difficult to dive, and I think in this setup, again, you take W. You might not even have Q here. No, he does. Flandre does have Q. But Steadfast Presence, just a well-timed Steadfast Presence, right? Can prevent so much from Xiaoye and from Monkey. We'll see exactly how much that ends up being the case, as Tarzan is going to play nuisance here to Lian
Love
Chen.
that. Yeah, love that. Especially, you take a look at this jungle matchup between Tarzan and Monkey. Monkey, kind of living up to his namesake. He just goes and he fights, right? Tarzan, the cerebral
Oh,
jungler, and you can
man.
already see he's just trying to keep Lian Shun behind. Make the rookie work to try to get this EXP. I mean, he's level 2. Flandre is going to be level 4 probably on this wave. Maybe the next one. Like, this is gonna be tough to overcome this EXP deficit.
Yeah, it will be. And this is kind of one of the
Oh no. Oh
oh, my
no,
young
don't do it,
child.
brother. Okay, well, we're going to start off on the bot lane. Flandre trying to knock him into the wall, puts up that steadfast presence. Xiaosha tanking a lot. Ends up being
Wait.
Lian Shang who got first blood. And Flandre dies on the bottom side. Oh, that is a going 2-for-1 for BLG, though.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 for BLG. I am really curious about how Liang
I gotta
Chun.
see that.
How the hell do you ever trade 1-for-1 here? I mean,
This
Kyle
guy's the
must have.
goat.
The only way that could have happened is if Kyle missed his Q. Oh,
All
he
right.
remounted, so he doesn't even commit with the W. How
Oh,
the hell?
okay.
Oh, so he missed his Q. It's changed. You see that ends up lacking, and the flash is just
Oh,
late, so he tanks the tower and dies. They have to wait for the
oh my
All
God,
right.
that
Well,
could have been
at
so
the very
bad.
least, Hope reacted quickly. That could have gone even worse because Tarzan procced his passive and then walked in again afterwards, and the tower still hadn't ramped down. But Hope thankfully reacted quick enough to make that dive work. Very messy on the top side from AL, and then of course on the bottom side, kill was picked up. But again, still 1-for-1 traded.
And I think that goes to show why Poppy will be such a good pick against Ambessa, because the only way that works is because Ambessa is able to dash with reckless abandon and get close enough to Kyle to be able to just get that little bit of extra damage in, because I think that turret shot was pretty close. I don't think it overkilled him by a whole lot, but good stuff for BLG and this team of youth throwing out the pocket sand as the Titanic top laner got that 3v1.
Yeah, absolutely. I do wonder now as we return to somewhat standard lanes, how that top lane matchup is now going to play out with Ambessa being so far behind, right? Does feel like she
It's
is a bit of
tough.
a, yeah, she's a bit of a feast or famine champion in many ways. And it does take, a fair bit of gold to get rolling and be oppressive, right? You always have a certain baseline of effectiveness, but when you're set behind, that is really going to be the true test here for Liang Qian.
You're just gonna bleed out a ton of CS at this point. Sure, you'll get the EXP, but Flandre should be able to do well to keep him shoved off as Monkey heading into the top side, scouting out the jungle, trying to figure out if maybe they want to try to 3v2 dive. You can see Tarzan, the pings going down onto the top side. We'll see if he makes his way up. They try to catch out Monkeys. Kyle is on his way. Just gonna go see him sweep out the ward. Smite goes away. Zhaozha moving down, so should be a quick rotate into grubs here for BLG.
Yeah, it will be. BLG, well, they don't want it for now. I'm just going to secure a little bit of vision around here. AL poking their head. But I'm just not sure that they, frankly, they have the capacity. But they are going to put numbers in with this mid lane priority and force them back. And of course, Flandre can always have first move down here. And just sitting in Fog of War is so powerful if you're Flandre. And just that alone, that potential rotation over, will secure those grubs. So AL kind of just mind control BLG off a little bit, and they will secure that objective. Monkey and BLG couldn't even take one grub away here.
Yeah, and you know what? Grubs will probably be a better takeaway rather than actually going to be super good for them. Although Hope will be able to use that to pretty good effect once he gets some free time on a turret. And now Monkey will be starting up the dragon just as the grubs go down. So a lot of kind of wasted time there as Tarzan immediately next camp.
Yeah, definitely do agree. Monkey behind on tempo a little bit, but such is the way of that play. Again, very surprised that they didn't at the very least try and go for that just one initial grub, right? It's normally quite quick. Maybe his smite was on cooldown, of course, from taking down the grump. In fact, that might be the case if he didn't have the charge. As Tarzan here waiting for Heru.
Just going to
Just
throw a
gonna
rock
walk
at
out.
him, trade a little bit. I think the chains are going to win out on that fight just a little bit, you know. Metal beats rock, right? That's at least
Yeah.
how I played rock, paper, scissors when I was a kid.
Yeah, true. But honestly, for the time being, it's pretty okay for BLG. Again, the main issue is just going to be this top side, right? This 1v1 matchup being so lopsided because of the lane swap is a very, very big deal. Economically, this Ambessa is just, I mean, well, not economically, I suppose she's technically even in gold, right? But just by the XP, being down this level, level and a half for as long as she's likely going to be, she's going to have to find a play back into this game, right? If Flandre just kind of stays here to match and never leaves and never gives up a wave or two, you're always going to be behind. So it'll be very, very scary to ever get to try to play side lane into this Poppy, because you mentioned in the early game Poppy might lack some damage comparatively to its support or jungle counterparts because of things like rune choices. Itemization for this Poppy could get a little bit interesting. I've seen a wide variety of Poppy builds in my day, especially when they're outside of lane, and even you know, a 1 item worth of AD is gonna spike this Poppy's damage ridiculously, and you can see here how obnoxious these
Oof.
trades are. Buckler, Buckler as well in the back of the head for the final
Bonk.
portion of that trade, and now Tarzan's here, and it's like, well, I know I'm gonna get dove, and it's probably gonna suck, but what more can I do? Tarzan will, however, just stay
Oh,
put as an arrow. Hello.
yep. Got the cleanse out on Baya. This monkey is heading around toward this try. Maybe wants to get in, pop the cyclone, try to make something happen. Ward spots him out there. With this wave coming in, Hope and Kyle gonna just play it a little safe as Monkey's gonna head over to the blue buff, get that one taken care of, and over on the other side, Tarzan's gonna do the same. So things pretty quiet so far. It looks like plays might be able to be made, but in the end, they don't happen. And you know, I think this is actually pretty good for anyone's legend because this allows time for Victor and Ash to really get their items, their tanks to get
Ooh,
tanky.
it
Oh, wait a
does.
minute.
Um,
Yeah. Liangshen could
Speaking of
find himself in a
tanks,
little bit of trouble. Tarzan is ready to come through. Flandre is here too. Starting off with the buckler. There's the public execution, but can Liangshen actually get away? Tarzan will catch him, put him into the brush. And Liangshen is almost assuredly not going to be able to get away from this one, as Tarzan will be able to pick up the kill.
yeah, doesn't burn the flash, and honestly, I kind of get it, right? Unless you were going to be able to get towards that bottom wall, it's just unfortunately very easy pickup for AL, and the Enchant will continue to struggle on this Ambessa, and we're getting a pretty good bit of evidence as to why sometimes we may not see the Ambessa or quite a few carry champions, whilst lane swaps are prevalent and available in the competitive meta. It's just, again, a very hard champion to make work inside of
Hey,
these
but he
lane
got a
swap
kill.
setups.
He got a kill though. You know,
Uh-huh.
listen, I heard that means you win the lane swap, right?
Yeah.
That is yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough. Leon Shen really never had a chance, and somebody who is having a tough time that we haven't really talked about is Haru in the mid lane. I mean, obviously it is Victor into Silas, but I mean this is a large lead for Shanks, the Mage Master, as we affectionately referred to him earlier. Victor being in the meta probably really good for this guy.
Yeah, I do agree. Shanks, I mean, he is kind of the Azir guy, right? I mean, we have a lot of Azir guys in the LPL, as I'm not sure there's really going to be a general fight here
Well, here comes a teleport
over
from the
this
Poppy,
grub.
so there might
Yeah.
actually be a
Oh, yeah.
fight as Cal with a good engage onto Baya. Baya, though, is fine for right now. The Impale lands onto one. Down goes Kyle. Hope trying to
Is the real
fight from
Impale.
front to back. Here's the real Impale. That gets a kill onto the Leona. Now a 4v3, but the question is, can they get more? The Chaos Storm close to slowing him up. Baya trying to get away, but he gets slammed into the wall. Couldn't flash away. And that is a couple of kills for anyone's legend, and now they're turning up the heat.
Yeah, that could have gone so much worse for BLG as well if that ultimate from Tarzan connected onto more than one person. Just a little bit short, a little bit of high ground, low ground as well, I think, on that ultimate. Really kind of oversold how much damage that could have gotten done. But yeah, BLG, more than they can chew there in that exchange. They, of course, get caught out by that flank from Kyle, but still engaged and didn't really do much of the means of trying to disengage either. Unfortunately, lose more members than they probably could have gotten away with. Really good look in here from AL.
This was
And
great.
it was just, yeah, great angle they find onto Baye. And even though, you know, it feels like Kyle is a little bit isolated, it's more about what AL are also getting done in their own backline, right? Dealing with the jungler. It's support for jungle initially, and yeah, it's that high ground, low ground. It just oversells it a little bit. How much damage Tarzan was able to get done, also a flash away that ended up
Oh,
coming
it
out
was both of
from
them.
Heru. But yeah,
The double
that last
slam.
wall smash.
Yeah,
It's so powerful, man.
yeah,
It's so much CC.
it was so tough. And Tarzan had a really excellent fight there, by the way. Dodged out on the Chains of Corruption and dodged out on the fake impale. Like, this dude, I mean, he was on Lilia, right, during the group stage, and also had a lot of fancy movements here. The veteran still has the mechanics to be able to keep up with the young kids, as you can see in this game.
Yeah, no, Tarzan, very very versatile, always has been, and I think he always will be. And since this Skarner's come into meta, has certainly been one of the more consistent players on it whenever he has been put on that duty over on Weibo throughout summer, as Speaking of,
Monkey
finds
gets
Monkey.
interrupted. Yeah, this is another good engage coming out from Anyone's Legend. The teleports are a little bit late, but Shanks gets there first. Baya is forced out. Zhaozha trying to help him out. Other side of the fight. The public execution does not land, but finally getting the fight is Liang Shen, but it's a 3v1 at this point in time. He's trying to get onto Hope, but Hope able to kite it out excellently, which means Shanks is able to pick up a triple kill.
It's just easy pickings here for AL. The fight's so disjointed, and I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but Tarzan caught Monkey inside of the clone whilst he
That's
was in
excellent.
stealth. So it just, yeah, breaks apart whatever BLG were fishing for entirely from start to finish, and they will get a pretty nice chunk out of this mid-tier one. They're not going to pick up Dragon or anything of the like, and let's see if that was entirely intentional or no. I think he was just gonna start the channel, but then it wasn't even the clone. Monkey pressed E. Monkey dashed into that one. The maker of his own demise there, unfortunately, as yeah, the impale then finds its way onto the backline, and even though Tarzan dies, preventing those divers from getting that initial bit of damage in is very, very impactful. And we're seeing here, and Bessa, you know, if up one more level, if had, you know, first item, maybe that feels a little bit nicer. As Tarzan again has that heart steal. You know, he's got to get the stacks going now.
Yeah, and they're starting to hurt too. You saw that he chunked out Zhaozha. Definitely looking for his next victim here. As BLG are looking to get the blue buff for themselves and get the hell out of Dodge. Smite will go over to Tarzan, and yeah, it's tough as Monkey is now starting to get choked out of his own jungle. He might be a monkey, but Tarzan is king of the jungle.
Yeah, that he is. Even if it is Sun Wukong on the other side, still Tarzan.
It's just a triple entendre.
It is. It's it is. Yeah, come on. You know how it goes.
This is great, man. You know, I love this. It doesn't line up this perfectly that often, you know, so we gotta take the opportunities where we can. As Shanks is gonna get a turret for himself. I mean, he is just kind of running away with the game at this point. No, 3-0-3, 173 CS. It's up 40 CS essentially on, I'm sorry, 30 on Baya. I mean, this guy is just going to continue to laser people down.
Yeah, he will. He's continuing to scale up here. Shanks is going to be scary eventually.
Here we go.
Will be the main...
Oh my god. Liang Shen took so much damage for absolutely nothing. Tarzan is here at the dragon, gets knocked up. Is getting actually roasted and taken down. Now Kyle trying to do what he can to keep Hope alive. Another dodge out on the public execution as Hope is just raining arrows and raining death, allowing time for Shanks to make it into the fight. He finds two more. He wants a third, but this one will be given over to Flandre. And Anyone's Legend just wiping BLG away.
Holy, Hope just collided on BLG there. That was ridiculous. Dodged out on so many things, most notably that public execution. If that ultimate had landed from Ambessa, from Lianchan, then maybe BLG get to roll over that fight after finding their pick onto Tarzan, but it's frankly not enough. And Anyone's Legend AD carry makes a complete mountain out of a molehill. They'll pick up this tower as well on the back end of this. And let's just get a look at this replay, because Tarzan steps too far forward, and I think he just kind of dies in CC, right? Doesn't get to cast that ultimate. But then Kyle gets his ultimate onto the front line, right? All of the CC. And then it's just... Oh, man. Been there. Inch too short from Lianchan.
Yeah.
And Hope as well. A very nice sidestep as the rest of AL comes into collapse. And yeah, the walk down is easy. Double kill for Shanks, and Flandre picks up the final one.
Not much that Baya could do there. It was a valiant effort. You just got to go after Hope and do what you can. As I thought, we're going to get another fight here. Tarzan off on the side, trying to just take down Zhaozha as the first turret in the mid lane is going to fall. Now slammed into the wall. Tarzan with the impale getting a priority target here as Baya will fall. Hope gets that kill, and Hope is safe and sound, baby.
Whoa.
And this Chaos Storm's getting real big. Liang Shen was a complete non-factor in the fight. Gets hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow up against the wall. Just can't go anywhere. It's two more for Shanks.
Yeah, this game is just about done and dusted. It's just about signing off the formalities now for AL. 10,000 gold almost. This tower will bring them ever so close up. But my, great pick after pick. And there's just not really much that BLG can do at this point when you're down so far, right? And it's a very, very, you know, win more composition they've got going for them, even with the on-hit Varus as well, as teleports coming in from Heru. They're looking for something here, but I just don't think it's what they want to find.
You will find only death here, Jack Sparrow. Saru manages to find a way out for now. They get on top of Shanks, but Shanks is kiting it out so well. The lasers doing what they can. Tarzan gets hit by the public execution. Kyle is here to try to help out. Shanks half HP, trying to get from Liang
Man.
Chen, who flashes on top of him, but the gravity well will keep him alive. Kyle will fall, but Flandre and Hope should be able to lead the charge here. Hero has the stolen ultimate, but he can't go in on the Shanks as Xiaozha eventually falls, and now it's a 3v3. Hope flashing, getting the slow. Baya not up against the wall, but Flandre doesn't take any damage. Chaos Storm is getting real big once again. It's just not enough for BLG. They fall again. Shanks continuing to do crazy things, as well as Hope on top of it.
Herald of the Arcane. You know what? Maybe this rework wasn't that bad after all. As Shanks absolutely two steps on BLG and baits so much out of them, just keeps them on that knife's edge and keeps them committed until the rest of AL can commit to that fight coming back from base. Excellent team fight, and I mean, if the nail wasn't already in the coffin, if this game wasn't already done, then that is just simply salt in the wounds. We're going way back with this replay, all the way back to the play.
Fight.
Yeah, this is all exactly. It feels vintage given the pace of this game.
Can't believe that didn't hit Monkey, by the way.
I know. I'm very surprised. We can't even watch the replay because
Xiaozha is getting solo killed.
Support. Monkey's dying.
I'm so sorry, Xiaozha.
Feels
Rest in peace,
man.
Yeah, unfortunately, tank support problems when you're losing. Your scoreline's not going to look that great.
No, it's not. As Baron's up now, so it is available to be taken, and AO will take that opportunity in their stride immediately. And this should just be the purple worm going over. No big contest from BLG, as you would imagine. And yeah, again, it's just going to be about getting the most out of this Baron and trying to get ourselves to a game number 2 as quickly as possible here for AO.
I mean, listen, if you're Shanks, you're probably like, hey, can we stay in a little bit longer, guys? I'm not even at the peak of my powers yet. 9-0 and 8 has the Blackfire Torch along with the Leandries, has the Void Staff, just doing the most. It's really funny, you know. Once upon a time, he was 3-0 and 3, and we were like, hey, you know, he's set to take over the game. Well, it is Victor's world. We are just living in it.
True. Glorious evolution.
Oh,
March is ever closer.
It's right now, like they're looking like BLG's looking like Jace. You know, I have too many spoilers. If you haven't watched Arcane, which you probably should do so.
You know what? So I had this conversation the other day. If you've not watched Arcane by now, it's your
what
own
are you
problem.
doing?
Great steadfast presence, and Xiaoxia is gone. Goodbye.
Yeah, if you're not watching Arcane right now, if you haven't watched it, you are Xiaozha right there. You're not doing the most. You know, no offense to Xiaozha, because there's not much you can do at this point of the game, but you should really get it done. So Liang Shen will fall. That should put the bow on the game here for anyone's legend, as they're gonna knock down this inhibitor. Shanks is gonna get his back in. He's gonna teleport in, and that'll do it. You know, BLG had a nice high point at the beginning of the game, getting that kill, getting 2 kills in the lane swap, and then it kind of all fell apart for them, Jamada.
Lane swap, good. Everything after the lane swap, not so good, as more kills rolled in. And unfortunately, AL may have just, you know, stepped over the line a little bit too much. BLG, not going to give it to him easy. But it will be a Nexus Tower, at the very least, for this exchange.
Yeah, they were happy gaming a little bit there, Jamada. They really, really wanted to go to game 2. But again, I'm sure Shanks is still very happy right now. He's like, hey, man, listen, you know, get my items. They're not going to even do the dragon at this point in time. They don't even care. Tarzan is backing, and it's just like, we can get this on the way, or, you know, we're not stopping at McDonald's. We got food at home.
Yeah, the second dragon hasn't even been done yet, so we haven't spawned another rift. Think about that.
Oh my god.
You know, this is at times we need a stat check on this. When was the last time a competitive game ever finished without the rift evolution? I mean, they're gonna take the dragon now. I think no.
I think I was watching.
No, they're walking past it.
I think I was watching an NES VOD where there was no rift.
Oh.
I think I was just watching a VOD where that happened. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to stake my claim on it, but certainly the number is probably low.
I can't personally recall a game I've ever watched where there's no elemental rift. We're going back to the old
Here goes
seasons as
Monkey.
a engage.
Getting, yep, the Cyclone knockup is there,
Oh,
but that Impale is
oh,
huge. Baya is low, and he's got to run away, but can you run from the storm? It's a triple kill for Tarzan. Monkey will get bonked right into the fountain. He should thank Flandre for saving the KDA there, as now anyone's legend will knock down the final Nexus turret, and subsequently the Nexus for a Game 1 victory.
yeah, easy peasy. 24 minutes on the clock, and AO will knock down this Nexus. Not much for BLG to talk about there in that game. Very, very clean. That initial dive, of course, maybe not so, but everything else after the fact was simply just business. Nothing more, nothing less. And AO absolutely dominate.
Yeah, and really, this was the expected result of this individual game. Obviously, we have a whole nother game, potentially too, but, everybody expects anyone's legend to walk in, dust up this BLG Juniors amalgamation of youth roster that they have going on, and move on to the semifinals. But, as we talked about, there were a couple of bright spots. They were fleeting, but they were there. While the lane swap did not really work out, obviously, for BLG. Obviously, they weren't the ones who started it, but while the lane swap went bad for them, you do get the kill for Liang Shen. So it's like, okay, if you clean that up and are able to make that play and the rest of the team can do other things for something in the future, something for these players to think about, it could be a pretty okay play eventually.
Yeah, it could have been, but again, I think for BLG, the big problem really lies in that they had to get, a lead through their bottom lane, and Bessa needed to hit one item at, parry, and AL, through this lane swap, don't really enable that to happen, right? There's no clean 2v2 in the bottom side ever going on, and Bessa's playing what is, probably a very tough lane counter from an entire level down, a level and a half down. So I think, yeah, this lane swap just threw BLG into a, into complete array. Didn't seem like they necessarily had the lane swap on their mind as they were drafting, and then maybe as the draft concluded, they were like, oh,
Oopsies.
oops, forgot that can happen. And it's definitely something that can be a thing. As lane swaps aren't a necessarily an every game, occurrence. They are frequent, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you get sucked into, having drafted and planned around lane swaps
Oh
not
my
being in the game for
goodness.
so long that you do forget, as that is
That's a damage chart. That is one of the damage charts of all time.
Yeah.
I know who's winning MVP this game.
Yeah, I
Although
think I know.
I've said that multiple times and it's always been somebody
Don't
else.
look, nephew, as a newcomer to the LPL scene, let me just set something straight for you.
Please.
The LPL MVP votes are never as straightforward as they should seem. All right, we've already had one tonight, right? It
Yeah.
should have been Harm
for
getting
sure.
that MVP
Absolutely.
in game one, right? Over TN. TN got it anyway. Just don't even try and put sense to it. But I do agree. This one
It's too obvious to miss.
It should be cut and dry, right? It should be cut and dry. If it's not Shank's MVP, then I'm not sure what they got going on over in China, but it's not whatever's going on our screen. I'll be sure of that. That said, though, highlight reel, you could make a good couple of three minutes, I think, of just a complete montage reel of BLG not getting any kills in just about any exchange.
Yeah. Liang
Just the
Shen
nature of
not
how
able to hit any
1v1
public
this is.
executions. I mean, it's not really his fault. The dodges on them were just really, really good. I mean,
Yeah.
especially right here, you're gonna see it in just a moment. The timing was just a little bit off, man. It's tough to watch. Tough scenes here.
Tough scenes, but it's kind of the expected outcome. It's always rough to watch the games play out, regardless, right? And in some cases, it's not nice. But BLG given their opportunity here to the juniors to play out this Demacia Cup, and of course given the opportunity to maintain a little bit of rest for their for their main squad, not their junior squad, and AL taking no prisoners.
Yeah, I mean, they were gonna take it easy on the kids over here on BLG, and I'm sure that they're not beating themselves up too much, as this fight ended up going pretty well. Obviously, at a pretty big numbers advantage, as two more people coming from off screen, and an initial advantage. They just could not find a way to kill Shanks, and unfortunately, it ends up being a part of their undoing, as he's just dumping so much damage at this point.
Yeah, this was a fantastic play from Shanks, man. He just he dodges everything, and he knows there's kind of like that mental range, right? I almost wish we could like what's the word? We could draw over this play, because he just knows exactly where those ranges are. Of, if I walk here, they have to walk up, and I can't. I'm walking up. I'm disrespecting. They have to come back and put their space down. And it just, again, it kept them teetering on the edge long enough for AL to show up, as the highlight reel is still playing, and it's still BLG just getting absolutely slaughtered. Again, montage could have been made, as yeah, not much they can do. And this is, of course, the final fight. The Chaos Storm grows massive.
And it did so much damage too. It was on everybody in the middle of that in that dust up. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's huge or small. When it's dealing that much damage, you're gonna win the fight anyway.
Yeah, no, you are. It's such a powerful reset tool that I'm gonna actually be, believe it or not, I'm gonna be excited to see Victor. I can't believe, after finally seeing a good Victor outing,
Oh,
like the threat of that armor is actually quite scary. It's quite scary. So
it's tough.
yeah,
I was getting hit from bottom inner turret over at like red buff.
Yeah,
Playing against it where I got a pentakill. It was never. I don't want to think about that anymore, man. It hurts. It hurts my soul a little too much. One thing that I was a little surprised that BLG wasn't able to do, as finally Shanks gets it. We got him. Everything is right in the world. BLG really wasn't able to take any action against anyone's legend. We talked about how it's 3 tanks plus Ash and Victor. Like there are avenues to attack that team, and they just weren't able to do so. I don't really think they had the hard CC out of the jungle that they could have really needed.
yeah. I know, but I just I don't know where. I don't know where like in the draft they could have actually found
Yeah,
any respite, unfortunately.
yeah, that's the big issue. But hopefully BLG will be able to figure out where they're going to find that respite, as we are going to take a short break while the teams step away and then eventually reconvene. We'll be back, and when we are, we'll kick it to the Game 2 draft of Anyone's Legend and BLG. See you soon.